Brad, I just wondered what you told your team after the game with the season over.
Well, at halftime, I was obviously disappointed in our defensive effort. I knew, just look out there, we were in the man a little bit, but I thought we could play better defensively, and I thought we came out in the second half with a great deal of spirit and fight, a little bit more aggressiveness, and it was great until we were worn out, and I thought we wore out. We didn't have any juice in the last 10 minutes or so prior to that little run at the end. Credit them; they put us in a world of hurt in a lot of different matchups, and it's a good basketball team who's playing well right now. Who, as I said earlier, is really sitting pretty for the future because they've got really good players at the 1 and 2 that are both very young, that have a chance to be elite at their positions.
You've talked about what you take away from this season, but what do you want your players to take away from a year like this?
Well, so there's a couple of different ways to look at it. Are you going to get better in your role, or are you going to expand your role? What I mean by that is, are you going to get better at what you do well, or are you going to get better at some other things that make you, that give you a chance to, instead of be the 8th guy, be the 5th guy, instead of be the 5th guy, be the 3rd guy. We have a lot of great data to be able to share, and subjective thoughts as well. And I think we can get better with the guys in the room. I think we clearly are going to need to add to our team to be better. But I told them at halftime, I said we've got to, we can start it on October 1st, or we can start it right now. As we've got to have a defensive DNA to start next season at a little bit different level than I thought we did at the end of this season. I thought we tried to compete defensively early on in the year. I didn't think we made the strides that I would have liked to have made.
Coach, why did Brandon Bass deserve the Red Auerbach Award tonight?
Well, first of all, Brandon Bass hurt his foot a little bit in the 3rd quarter, tweaked it, and I would have put him back in if Kelly would have fouled out. But because Kelly didn't foul out, I didn't want to risk that with him, especially when the score was what it was with the start of the 4th quarter. The reason, and I just told him this in front of the team, he's as good of a pro as we have. He shows up every day. He's the first one to the gym on the road. He's the first one at the gym at home. He takes care of his body as well or better than any of our players on the team, nutrition-wise, stretching-wise, in the weight room, and his individual workouts are deliberate to what applies to making his game good. And I don't think everybody that works on the game anywhere in the world do those things as well as some of the best pros. And I think we need to really embrace that deliberate work ethic all around the way, and Brandon Bass is a great example of that for our team.
The first thing you see is the players and how they perform, but what do you think you and your coaching staff can do to improve in the offseason going into next season?
Well, we're going to be doing everything we can. I mean, we're going to be doing everything from film review to what coaches do to thinking about who we have, how can we play different or tweak this or tweak that defensively, offensively. Those are things you think about, Emily, every day anyways. But just because you even take a break doesn't mean you're not thinking about it. I've got a couple of coaches that may end up coaching overseas some in the FIBA events. And then obviously our staffs will be very active with our draft process and all the individual workouts that guys will be doing, and also summer league. I think their work ethics are good. I think their coachability is pretty good, and I think that the one thing that they never really did, maybe here or there was a line or two. You all know better than I do because you're the ones asking them. They never really splintered. Things like this can splinter you pretty easily, and they stayed together pretty well as far as, you know, standing up for one another and being a team and, you know, not pointing blame. And, you know, it's been a pretty good group from that regard. And that gives you a chance to improve. You know, it's the old adage that you can't improve without accountability. And so that gives you a chance moving forward.